All right. Bam. We're live. Bam. We're live. Okay. Share my screen. We'll get you all set up. Hope everyone's doing well. All right, welcome. We'll get started here in a couple minutes. Welcome. We'll be talking about your remodeling cruise tonight. Any questions? Let me know where you're from. Give a couple people a couple minutes to join in. If you're new, let me know what part of the country you're from and what your specialty is, what your niche. Then we'll get rolling. All right, here we go. So welcome to TikTok. Welcome to those of you on YouTube. If you'd like to see the slides, you can jump over to the YouTube. Otherwise, it seems like most people comment more so on the TikTok. So welcome. And here we go. So what's the deal, right? You ever had a guy on your crew? They show up late, they're asleep, they're just not ready to go. You know, you're frustrated. You're paying them per hour, per job. But the honest truth is, and most remodelers don't even want to say it, they're frustrated, right? And the team, your team is a reflection of you. So if your team sucks, what's that say about you and your business? You just have to hear it. And it's sad because most people aren't even going to tell it to you. I'll tell it to you. All right. But your friends, they're going to hear you and say, yeah, that sucks. It's hard to find anyone that works these days. They're not being nice to you. They're just trying to not hurt your feelings. And what they're doing is hurting your business. You need to hear the truth. Okay. Your team, if you have like 5 guys, that team is a direct result of you. So if your guys are messing up, they're not getting work done on time, their work sloppy, they're just following your business lead, brother. Okay. And again, you may not like it. You might want to fight about it, but that's the reality. Sometimes you're just going to have to sit down, look in the mirror and go, damn, if I want a better team, I need to be a better business leader. And that's just the reality of the situation. It's better to know it than to keep on running around blaming your crews for the next 3 years and still not making any money. At least now, when you hear it and you know, you can choose to take the steps so that you can be a better business leader and you can start making money a lot quicker. Like I said, this business is not as hard as many of the guys are making it. You could make a lot more money if you just got out of your own way. That's the truth of many a remodeler. All right, so here we go. You got to ask yourself, like, damn, what is it that my guys keep messing up? What is it that I'm messing up, right? What could I change? Because it's not about motivation. It's a mindset. It's a system. You need a shift. And that shift separates the stressed out, low margin remodeler from the respected, profitable one who attracts the A-plus players, right? Plain and simple, right? And that's what this is all about. So the idea is when you get better, your crew gets better. So how do you do it? You show up consistently. You're a professional. And you have your purpose. When you do that, you naturally attract you lead, and you retain better people, right? How do you do that? Well, first you keep your word, you plan ahead, you communicate clear, you handle stress like a leader and not like a landmine. And your team, they follow your pace. They echo your tone. They reflect your discipline. Leadership isn't about top-down instructions. It's side by side. You model what works. You demonstrate it, and it gets contagious. Tell you right now, you keep your truck nice, you keep your tools clean, you keep the job site clean, your guys will start doing the same. Your employees, your subs, everyone. It is contagious. If you're sloppy and you're a mess, you're running around like a head chicken with your head cut off, so will your guys. It's just like kids. You know, when you're out in the park, yeah, for those of you that have pets, you have a dog. There's no bad dogs, there's just bad dog owners, right? You go out in public, you see a person and their pet's out of control. That lets you know that person's out of control. That person can't get their life together. They can't get their dog under control. Not the dog's fault. The dog is just a reflection of the person. In remodeling, the crew is the same way. So if you hire a sub and their crew messes up the job, it's not the crew's fault. In fact, you probably could hire those guys to come to your team if you're organized, and they'll perform 100 times better. That crew's messing up because whoever's leading that sub of yours, they're messed up. Okay? These are just simple facts about the way the world works, and it's the way that remodeling works. So ask yourself, all right, would I hire myself? And if I did, what are the things that I would want different? Like, what am I frustrated about? What are areas of opportunity, aka what are the weaknesses? All right. So, like myself, I wait till the last minute a lot of times. I have to purposefully plan ahead and get the thing done the day before. Because if you don't, if you let me and I'm lazy, I'll wait till the last minute. And it shows. Okay. You have to figure out what it is from you that's hurting your business, your natural tendencies. And you have to have discipline to operate differently when it comes to your business. One way you can do this is you can start implementing a daily morning routine. I would start with a huddle with your team and an end of the day huddle. This way, it forces you to get organized. You have to bring something to the meeting to show your guys that you know what you're doing in the morning and you have a plan for them for the day. And then when you meet at the end of the day, you do a quick wrap up and you let them know, hey guys, this is what I'm expecting us to get done tomorrow. And we'll do a quick deep debrief in the morning. And this way, everyone's on page and they're like, damn, this guy's organized. If you just keep telling everyone you're going to wing it, they're going to wing it. And that's not how professionals, that's why most remodelers are broke. I mean, this is very basic stuff, and I get it. Some guys don't want to hear it, and I'm aware of that. So how do you reset your standard? So pick one area each week, raise the bar. Even if it's just like tone of voice or how you prep, right? This is how your culture gets built. And this is how you model one action at a time and you repeat one habit daily. And then you make slow steps, slow conversions, right? Over time. So welcome, guys. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. We're talking about remodeling and how to step up your crew, get yourself organized so that you win. So what if? What if the reason your crew isn't showing up the way you want is because you haven't shown them how to do it? What if the missing piece isn't a better hire, but a better version of you? You may already have the A+ players on the team. They might not be performing at an A+ rate because you aren't capable of doing it, right? You have to be the better version of you that shows up. You don't get the crew that you wish for. You get the crew that you are built for to handle currently. All right, follow me on that. Everybody likes to think, oh, I wish I had more of this. I wish I had more of that. You would have it if you could handle it. There's a reason why you don't, and it's because you're not ready. So this is one of those ones where I was like, hey, for those of you that want to like step it up and If for the last couple of years you have wanted to reach, let's say, 750,000 in sales, 500,000 in sales, a million, and you haven't, then instead of saying to yourself, it's too expensive to run a business, you have to be saying to yourself, how much money am I losing each year by not knowing how to get to 750? How much money am I losing in my business because I don't know how to sell $1 million a year worth of remodeling, right? Some of you are worried about investing like 20,000 into the business when meanwhile you are losing over 250 to $500,000 a year or more. And if you just made the simplest little investment into your business, figured out a way, and just went for it, you could double your money, 10 times your money, right? You're the one holding yourself back because it's your fear. So, what else? For those of you that this hits home, there's a really good exercise that you do. It's all personal development. Everybody thinks it's all these tricks. It's not. It's personal development. That's the trick. And I have a questionnaire that you can rate yourself. It's part of our Rebel program, but I'll throw out a few things here for those of you on. There's not many guys here. So the thing is, you have to ask yourself some tough questions. You got to say, do I follow through with everything that I say I'm going to do 100% of the time? Or do I just talk a good game and then often not follow through, right? If I tell my guys, like, hey, I'm going to be there tomorrow at 7, are you there at 7? If you tell your guys, like, hey, I'll stop and I'll get that item and bring it to you, do you actually do it? Or do you just say it and then tell them the next day, yeah, I forgot, something came up, right? Are you reactive or are you responsive when a problem happens? Like, ask yourself, if you were the homeowner and you know all the things you know about the way you handle remodeling as a business, would you hire yourself? You know, uh, do you prepare your team properly each day? Are you waking up early enough? Are you giving the guys everything that they need to succeed, or are you half-assing it? Are the guys constantly waiting on materials, on directions, right? On you to sell the next job? Like, do you tell them, hey, we can't finish this job that fast because we don't have 3 more lined up? I mean, what is it that where are you holding the team back? Do you model the behavior that you expect from your crew? Does your crew go, damn, he just does that so good every time? Or do they go, we're definitely not going to do it that way. That guy's a disaster. I mean, what's happening on the job site? These are tough questions. Somebody has to ask them. If you're in charge of your company, then you need to be evaluating yourself. All right? Do you create clarity or chaos? Do you just expect the guys to know because they've been in the business for 5 years and because you've been doing it for 10 and because you're burnt out, you're so tired of explaining yourself, but you've never really built a system? That's the reason that you're tired of explaining it? You just expect them to know? Like, do you think they're going to read your mind? They're not. You have to build the system, right? Are you consistently investing in your growth? For a lot of guys, they think that learning stopped at high school, right? You can look this up online. Like, on average, Americans pretty much by the age of 25 they stop learning. But all the successful business owners, they don't. They keep getting themselves the next skill set that it's going to take. If they don't know how to do marketing, they go learn marketing. If they're not sure about advertising, they learn advertising. If they don't really understand accounting that well, they're not trying to become an accountant, but they learn how to read a balance sheet, a profit statement, an income statement. They start learning these things. They know what a debit and a credit is. They understand accounts receivable and how that impacts their business. If you don't understand the basics about finances and you can't balance a business checkbook when you're doing $100,000 a year, how do you expect to get to $1 million a year as a business? You can't even manage a $100,000 a year business, right? These are like hard realities. The world just won't give you more than you can handle. If you're already stressed out running this $250,000 a year remodeling business, that's your clue to say, damn, I need to get it so that the $250,000 a year business is a piece of cake. Then you get the $500,000 one. Then you get the $1 million. Then you get the $5 million. So when problems go wrong, are you blaming others or do you look at yourself first and say, damn, how did I contribute to that? This is what real business owners have to do. So anyway, and would you want like your son or your daughter, if you had to pick, would you say you should go work for a guy just like me? And then, because your life's going to be taken care of, that company's going places. And that's a reality that a lot of guys don't want to admit, that they're embarrassed to say, I'm really screwing this up and I don't know what I'm doing. Don't let your own ego get so far in the way that you just won't go get the training or learn the tactics or the tricks that you need to start crushing it. Okay? What else? 5 day. Most of this stuff is simple. You just figure it out one thing at a time. All right? It sounds like a lot. Okay? And look, everybody's at a different place, especially with like the way their mind works and the hurdles that they're putting in front of their own business. Some guys don't have an ego at all. It's the reason why, believe it or not, if you notice, especially online, it's the reason why a lot of women can jump into a brand new industry and they can excel within a matter of weeks or months. It's because they're not afraid to just admit they don't know what they're doing and they get help. They get into a training program, they take a course, they go onto the groups and they ask a bunch of questions. They don't care if they look stupid. I've watched guys literally be in a group and never ask a question, and then they go out of business 6 months later. And you're like, what were you doing? You were in the group. Well, I just, I couldn't ask that question. I didn't want anyone to know. I didn't know what I was doing. So you wanted to completely go out of business? That's how you let everyone know that you didn't know, right? What? It makes no sense. But guys are so afraid of letting someone know that they don't know what they're doing. It is crazy. I've watched people literally drown their own business. And it's like, dude, the help was right there. You just refused it. You say to the person, it's like you kind of don't deserve the business because you're not willing to get out of your own way. Okay. And it sounds like the hardest thing, but here's the truth. Whatever it is that you're afraid of that's facing you every day, that's the thing you got to do. Hello, like McFly, that's the thing. So for me, for the longest time, I didn't want to be online. I hated it. I like to operate behind the scenes. I've done it that way for 20 years, behind the scenes. You never would see right? Like even when I had a ton of guys on the crew, I would highlight them all the time, not myself. But that was the thing that was preventing the business for me from growing even a bit, right? Like I had to get out of my own way and recognize my own fears and say, Mike, you just got to learn how to do the social media thing. Yeah, that's what's keeping you where you're at. And that was very challenging, but it was very clear. It's the whole reason why I've come and attacked TikTok. Until May of this year, I never had a TikTok account. I didn't want to do it. I'm adamant that I'll never have to do it. And the reality is, it's the very thing that I needed to be doing the entire time. So you see the ironies, right? All right, what else? Anybody have any questions about their remodeling business? You guys have any issues hiring guys? Like I said, I can share from personal experience that when you hire people that are talented, more talented than you, and you get out of your own way and let them just run, your business will blossom and flourish. I had many a good team member that the homeowner would much rather deal with them every day than me. And that's the sign of having a good business. And those guys they have no intention of wanting to run their own business. That's not their role in life. That's not what they want. They want to be part of a business. So don't act like a lot of guys are like, oh, I can't train. I can't teach him too much. He'll leave. He'll want to go start his own business. Some guys do. I've had guys go start their own business and then come back because they realize that ain't all that it's cracked up to be. In fact, many of them have a better standard of living when they're working as the project manager or a lead carpenter for my company or another company than when they go out and do it on their own. Sure, they have their more freedom in a sense, but they're wearing 17,000 different hats and they're not making any money. So, everybody's situation is different. I'll share a story. Some of you guys can relate to this. So I get into fitness. 2015, I want to get back into shape. I had gone like a good 5-10 years, really wasn't working out. I was just spending all my time working. on the business. I gained quite a bit of weight. Was noticing shortness of breath, things like that. So I decided to go back and get into shape. Start getting around a bunch of younger people. If you're older, that I'm going to tell you right now, do not hang around your older buddies. Go find a gym that has a bunch of young kids. That's how you get into shape. Because old people, all they do is complain about everything, right? Like all the buddies your age, I can't. I used to do that. I can't do that anymore. Now, go get yourself into a gym where there's about some 20-year-old kids, and all they're doing is tackling goals one at a time, day in, day out. That's where you want to be, and you start realizing when you push yourself, you can do some phenomenal and amazing things. And at the same time, there was one guy at the gym, and he was pretty talented. But we were all entering into this competition. We were all flying down to Miami. We were going to do a fitness competition. And the guy couldn't swim. And one of the events was swimming. And he was so afraid to tell everyone he didn't know how to swim that he never said a word. The day comes, we have the swimming event. He literally almost drowns because he can't fucking swim. And yet he had 10 people around him that would have easily taught him how to swim. But he absolutely refused to say anything to anyone. And the next thing you know, nothing. So, all right, that's everything for tonight. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Have a good one, fellas. Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions come up. All right. Take care.